guys, it is Carl Brown here with your little mini lesson. It's a quick tip on synchronizing your picking with your fret hand. So one thing that I see a lot going on, and rightfully so, because a lot of very famous guitar players have this habit in their playing too, which it might seem that it's a very efficient way to play, but what it's doing is obviously messing up your timing. And timing is the very important part to playing fast, the synchronization between the hands. So what I see generally is usually kind of a lazy index finger, you can call it. You've seen people kind of play licks like this. And you can see how my index finger is just hanging out on the 12th fret because the line just keeps going down to that. So you can just stay in one position. There's 3 notes. So, you know, usually you would say, well, that's the efficient way to do it. You don't need to move that finger. You can just keep it there. It doesn't affect the other notes. The problem with this way of doing things is it messes with your brain in a weird way because there's a different amount of events going on in the picking hand than there is in the fret hand. So when you're trying to do things that are usually, especially not as repetitive as where you can kind of get away with that. But when you start taking things across strings and trying to time the alternate picking perfectly with the fret hand, that can really cause a lot of issues. Why? Because when you're doing this, you're basically feeling this like 2 events happening. You have this, you're playing this note, and then you go down this note. So you already have this note happening. So one event is changing to that note, and then one event is changing to this note. But in the picking hand, we have 3 events because we got to pick each one of those notes. So basically, it's like this. It's like if you had 2 hands and you're trying to tap one twice in the same timing that you're clapping the other one on a desk or whatever 3 times. That's much harder to do than when you're doing them at the same time. So that same thing happens on the guitar as well. What you want to feel is that each finger has a movement for every pick stroke. And that's going to help you feel the synchronization between the hands than if you just have one finger that's not moving at all, yet you still have to pick that note. I hope you understand what this means. So basically I can take any 3 notes on a string, and if I don't leave that finger there, I don't have to lift it way off the string. I can still keep it close to the string, but what I'm feeling is a little finger movement. I feel the finger come down each time. So in this hand, it feels like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it feels like that in this hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm matching up. If we want to talk about synchronization, that's how you do it. You have the same amount of events happen in both hands. And that's how you get your hands synchronized. It's a struggle when you have this finger being lazy and just kind of holding on to notes. And it's confusing for your brain. So that's my #1 tip, and I think if you practice this a little bit, you don't have to leave the string a lot. You can just release pressure. You can still stay on the string. Each one of those is still a movement. And I think you'll find a lot more success in timing your hands and synchronizing your hands together when you have them do the same thing. And you don't try to leave any fingers on the strings, which can really mess with your timing quite a bit. I hope this helps. You can practice any technique exercise you want with it. I have complete technique courses in my academy. And if you take, for instance, the alternate picking course that I have and do all those exercises and make sure that you're having a movement for each note in the fret hand along with the strict alternate picking, it's really going to do wonders for your synchronization technique. All right, hope to see you there.